Given the ellipse, there's an ellipse equation. Find both foci. So this is an interesting question. I think the best thing to do would be to graph it, actually. So let's do that. So I'm going to go over here and do my best to graph this thing. Okay, and so let's find the center first off. That's where we always start. The center, remember, is always opposite of what's next to x and y. So -2, -3. So this is -1, -2, and this is -1, -2, -3. So -2, -3 is right here. So there's the center, back 2, down 3. There's the center of the ellipse. Now, what's under x and y? This is 3 squared, this is 5 squared. So we always write those as square numbers for purposes of graphing. So whatever's underneath x is right and left from the center. So that's right 3. All right, see what I did there? I went 1, 2, 3 to the right, and 1, 2, 3 to the left will land me right there. And then up and down, whatever's underneath y is up and down, so up and down 5. That'd be right here, see that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Let me put that right there. So there's our ellipse. Let me draw it. It's egg shape. Okay, so now that we have the ellipse, let's find the foci, which is the plural for the focus points. So where are we going to find the focus points? The foci always sit on the major axis. Major meaning larger. The larger axis. So in other words, if the ellipse, it's a kind of a terrible ellipse, isn't it? If the ellipse is more sideways than it is, is wider than it is tall, then this would be the major axis. If the ellipse is taller than it is wide, then the up and down is the major axis. So the major axis is the bigger direction, major. The other one's called the minor axis. So the the two focus points always sit on the major axis. So there would be the foci points for that kind of a graph. And here are the foci points for that kind of ellipse. So the focus points always sit on the major axis. So for our example, the major axis is right here. Ours is taller than it is wide. So the major axis goes up and down, and the focus points must sit somewhere on that major axis. Now, how do you find the focus points? Well, we have a focus equation. So this is what you want to put in your notes for the next exam. The focus equation is the Pythagorean theorem, but with a minus in the middle instead of a plus. It's the Pythagorean theorem with a minus. A squared minus b squared is c squared. But that thing is going to be no good to us if we don't know what a, b, and c are. A and b, what are they? They are the distance from the center to the edges. And c is the distance from the center to the focus points. The foci is the plural of the focus points. So that's what A, B, and C are in the focus equation. And you know, and also one other important note, A is bigger than B. A is greater than B in this equation. Why? Because A comes first in the subtraction, right? Whenever you subtract two things, you got to put the bigger one first. A's got to be bigger than B, so that when you subtract them, you get a positive answer, right? If you put a bigger number first, 7 squared minus 3 squared, you get a positive answer. Why is that important? Well, because the other side is C squared, which has got to be positive, right? Anything squared, even negative 2 squared, will come out positive 4, won't it? So the other side is positive, so the left side has to be positive, which means A has got to be the bigger number. So A is always bigger than B when we use this formula. And what are the A and the B? A and B are under x squared and y squared. Order may be switched. The order may be switched. What do I mean? Meaning this could be a squared and this could be b squared, or vice versa. Remember, it can go either way. It's x minus h squared over a squared plus y minus k squared over b squared. But these switch sometimes. Well, how do you know when they switch? That's what I want to be clear with you about. It's not always a squared that's under. How do you know? A is the greater. It's greater than B. That's the key. A. So the bigger one is A. It isn't A is always the one under x squared. A is the bigger one. So you can. I'll say a squared or b squared is here, b squared or a squared is there. It depends whichever one's bigger. So look at the two. Which 3 squared or 5 squared? Which one's bigger? 5 squared. So this must be the a, and the other one must be the b. Let me just erase these. So this must be b squared, and this must be a squared, right? Because the bigger one is a. Okay. So when I come down here to do my formula work then, the bigger one is, so this is 5 squared right here minus 3 squared. So you don't have to worry. I probably made too much of that. Just put the bigger one first. You're good. Just the a squared and the b squared are the two numbers underneath x squared and y squared. We know that, right? A squared or b squared's here, a squared or b squared's there. And just put the bigger one first. Don't make a big deal. I probably made too big a deal out of it. Just put the bigger one first. Who cares where they came from? Put the bigger one first. And then c squared is what we're trying to find. So this is 25 minus 9, which is 16. And then root it. So c is 4. So we got c. Now what is c? Distance from the center to the focus. So 4 is how far from the center to the focus. So here's the center. 1, 2, 3, 4. And other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that make sense? It's 4 this way and 4 that way from the center to the focus. How do I know it's up and down? Remember, the major axis is up and down. The focus points always sit on the major axis. If you have one that's taller than it is wide, the major axis is up and down, and the focus points always sit on that major axis. So they've got to be up and down. How far? Now we know how far. 4. So they're 4 up and down. So I'm going to go, okay, so up 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. Let me change the color. So right there and right there. Right? Up there and up there. So down 4 and up 4. 4. Right? That's what C is. The distance from the center to the focus points. It's got to be 4. So there's the two focus points. They want the coordinates of those two focus points. So can we give it to them? Can we tell what it is? What's the coordinates of that point? That point looks like it's back 2, up 1, isn't it? Back 2, up 1, right? This is the origin right here. So it's back 2, up 1. I'll put a box around that one. That's one of our answers. And the other one, this one, that one looks like it's also back 2, but this one's down, I don't know, quite a bit. Down 4, down 5, down 6, down 7. So back 2, down 7, it looks like. And sure enough, those are the two answers over here. Back 2, down 7, and back 2, up 1. There's the two focus points. So that's a lot of work. Had to use the focus equation and everything. So make sure you practice that one, and you can do that one on the exam.